Yo.
I have a lot of grandmothers come to my shows, and they love me. I do really good with grandmothers. I don't think there's much being made that they could go to.
Certainly not stand-up comedy.
No, no. That's the goal. I'm trying to be only grandmothers. Shows are at 8:30 a.m. That's the late show.
Usually, when a stand-up comedian catches fire, it's because they're seen as dangerous. They're saying the things others don't have the nerve to say, about subjects others don't want to talk about, in language others would never use. I'm thinking of stars like Richard Pryor.
You know, because you live around white people in the country, anything could happen. Not that I don't trust white people, it's just that in the night, you know what I mean?
Amy Schumer.
I can't believe I have the honor of being the final host before the midterm elections.
And Dave Chappelle.
I respect everybody's beliefs except Amish people.
Nate Bargatze has risen to superstar status by doing something completely different.
When I started comedy, some comics would be like, well, I'm not for everybody. And I would be like, well, why would you not want to be for everybody?
He's low-key and clean, and his comedy traffics in highly relatable stories about the foibles of family life, his confusion with modern living, and his own lack of smarts.
I looked up like the most popular books. It was like Christina Agathe. Is that her name? She's like an author.
Agatha Christie. Yeah.
Agatha Christie. So I was backwards.
Wait, that wasn't just a bit, Christina Agathe?
No, I thought that's what it was.
It's an approach that's working. He had the highest grossing comedy tour of 2024. He's also found a new audience by hosting Saturday Night Live.
Look, if you're at home, I'm as shocked as you are that I'm here.
And now he's branching out to a new area with his upcoming book titled Big Dumb Eyes, Stories from a Simpler Mind. That kind of self-deprecation is a trademark of his.
In high school, I got pushed into a wall head first, and it took them 3 class periods to figure out I had a concussion. That's how much I was bringing to the table.
But as I learned, it's actually masking some surprisingly bold
What's
ambition.
up, buddy?
I'm David Marchese, and here's my interview with Nate Bargatze.
You know, it's interesting reading articles about you over the last couple of years since your career has really sort of taken off and you hit a new level. And the writers of those articles always try and explain why you've gotten so big. But what's your hunch about why you have gotten to the place you've gotten to over the last
Gotta love
couple
Nate
years?
Bargatze.
Like, why you? Why, there's lots of
I know.
good comedians.
I always
Why
wonder
you?
why you. You know, I mean, I think you're just talking about relatable things. And you're talking about, I think, authenticity. Not that I'm going out for authenticity, but you're in a world now where entertainment is, I think, there is no authenticity. You have the Wickeds, and you have these Avenger movies, and you have all this stuff that's great, but there's not like a regular person like on a screen anymore. And where the movies used to kind of be like that, where you would see Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and Home Alone and some of these aspects where you would have someone be like, all right, that's a guy. That's a regular guy in this movie that you enjoy watching. You know, it's like easier to watch, and it's just easier to take in, and you just want to be entertained, and you don't always want to be thought-provoked. And that's something that I've always tried to stay clear of, is because I realize, like, you know, I need people to be able to trust that they can come, if they come listen to what I'm going to say, or come buy in. I'm a product. I'm trying to sell you something. I'm selling you entertainment. So I need you to be able to come and trust that you're going to get the entertainment that I am, and showing you that I'm selling you.
You said, you know, I'm selling something, which is an interesting thing to hear, because obviously that's true, and obviously that's true for just about everyone in the entertainment business. But usually, in my experience, people aren't so explicit in saying that. Why do you think there is hesitation on the part of some entertainers to say, like, hey, I'm selling something?
I don't know, because I think there's got this weird, I mean, it's just, I think kind of in life in general, it's got this self-importance that it's, you know, I have a platform, so I need to say something on this platform. And I'm kind of anti-platform. It's not, I don't need to use this platform to tell you what to do. You know, if I want to give you my opinion and, like, tell you what I think and all this. I also think that's a lot about me, is what I think. And so it's like, this can't be about me. When I go on stage, I try to remind myself, this night's not about me. It has nothing to do with me. If it becomes about me, it's too much. I can't handle it. But if I can make it for other people, now I'm just kind of an employee, and I'm working. And so I'm just making stuff for people. And so it's like, it's not about my self-importance or any of that stuff. It just doesn't matter. You don't need me to do that.
Help me understand the distinction you're making when you say, I don't want it to be all about me, because your material, it is largely about you.
Well, it's about me in the fact that I'm talking about myself and I'm making fun of myself, but the material's written for you. I mean, I just got a message today about a lady that's like, she doesn't like flying. And I get like messages like this all the time. And so she's like, I listen to you and you've helped me fly, because it's like, just, I don't know, it's like takes her mind off of it or whatever. It's the way you watch a show that's comforting. So anytime I think I want to go do something else, it's like I think about her and go, well, that's not fair to her. I'm not doing it to make myself look good or look better or do this kind of stuff. I'm doing it to make you laugh. I always say you can laugh with me or at me. So it doesn't matter. Like you relate to it or you think I'm an idiot. Either way, it's like I'm here to entertain you.
And when you were starting out, did you feel like any sort of peer pressure from other comedians to perform differently or tell different kinds of jokes? Because, you work clean. Your stuff isn't really political in nature at all. There's a lot of family jokes, which I could imagine if you're, a 28-year-old guy working comedy clubs in New York City, there's maybe not a ton of your peers are doing that kind of material.
Yeah, I think it was. I would do a lot of shows that would be on when you're starting out. It'd be midnight. It'd be a show called Uncensored Comedy, and these are some of my friends are like very dirty. Yeah, most of the comics I'm around were the complete opposite of everything that I did. I had to learn how to do what I was doing in those rooms, but I didn't want you to notice that I was clean. So I think that is something that helped me into the fact that if I can go up and make you laugh and make these, this crowd laugh. I'm 28 years old in New York City doing a show. It's 1 a.m. These people are drunk and then I'm doing it. How can I do this? How can I do this material that's not, doing sexual jokes or whatever everybody else was kind of doing? And so you learn how to try to hide it. Because I think if you walked up and said, I'm clean, it's going to be like, well, this guy's not cool, and this guy's not this and that. But I think I look back at now, it was like I was reliable for late night sets because I was clean, Fallon liked me, and so it was like an easy one to go do and rely on because I'm not going to say, I'm not having to like change my act for television.
Your family is the source of a lot of your material?
Yes.
And your wife in particular? And I did wonder, does she have to vet the jokes that you tell about her? Like if you're coming up with a joke based on something she's done that annoys you, say, or that you found strange, do you then go to her and say like, hey, I'm working on this joke. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'll tell her. Yes. I mean, there's a couple times I'll go try it first to make sure I even want to. Like because if it's not going to work, then maybe there is no reason for me to bring it up to her.
I know, but then if it works, you're even in more of a bind.
But if it works, then I go and I can figure out how to say it. And I always try to make fun of myself too in it. When I first started, I would do jokes about my wife, and I could tell that the audience, if they don't know you and if you don't show love, then they're not going to go with you. So if you show that aspect of it, then you can get away with quite a bit, With my daughter, I'm very sensitive. I haven't talked to her about her a ton outside when she was a baby because I want her to be her own person. I want her to be able to trust that she can come to me as her father, which is the most important thing, and say stuff to me and not think anything she says I'm going to go tell the whole world. So it's splitting that balance to be like, I want to be very protective of that for my wife, for my family, for any of them, to know that I'm not just using all of them to gather material.
Your dad was a comedian and a clown, and when you were growing up, do you and he have any competitive feelings about comedy?
He did. So he was a clown at the beginning, and then he did magic, He's a magician. I mean, he'll tell me like jokes and stuff and say, well, you didn't say this and say that. So I can talk to him about comedy and all this. But yeah, I mean, he comes out on the road with me, and he's done 100 and some shows with me in arenas and all this. So I would say competitive. I mean, I mean, we lived, it's like different. I mean, when he came up, he was, you know, they had 3 kids, and he had a day job, and he did all this stuff. He could have moved to Vegas and when we were younger, and he chose not to. And so we grew up in Nashville, and I think grew up with a very normal, I mean, as normal as you can with your dad being a magician. But yeah, I think he's very proud, and he cries when he brings me on stage.
You know, I asked just because, you know, I don't think it's uncommon for when fathers and sons kind of go into the same or related lines of work for that to sometimes be emotionally complicated.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm sure there is like some competitive to us. I mean, there's some when you go travel, like I love traveling with my dad, and then there's times where, you know, you're like, I always joke to be like, it's every little boy's dream to travel with your dad when you're 45 years old. So, you know, got a tour bus with a CPAP machine. You go really living it up.
You know, your dad grew up, you know, in pretty different circumstances than you grew up in. You know, it's sort of had a hard childhood. And then your daughter is then growing up in different circumstances than you grew up in. You know, she's just a lot, I assume, a lot more affluent. Do you think about how your daughter understands like how or why her life and her childhood are so different than yours or her grandfather's?
I don't know if she gets it to the extent of that. I think we've done a pretty good job. We moved back to Nashville. We live in a cul-de-sac. We're not around a lot of, you know, like a big crazy neighborhood where it's, you know, just everybody's famous or wealthy or whatever. But yeah, she has stuff. The amount of stuff I wasn't allowed to have versus what she has it's not even remotely close. I wanted Jordan shoes, and but we got some from Dollar General, and they just kind of look like Jordan shoes. I would get all this stuff, the Super Bowl team that lost. I'd be wearing all that stuff.
A lot of Buffalo Bills gear.
Yeah. According to my family, the Bills have won 4 in a row.
You have been doing this a long time, but it's probably in the last 6 or 7 years where you sort of changed actually how you look. You know, you got a different haircut. You grew the beard and mustache. Started dressing a little cooler. I think maybe you lost some weight. Did the impetus to do that come from you, or did a manager or agent say like, hey, if you want to get to the next level, we might want to think about making some changes?
Kid show business showed up and goes, hey, fatso, if you want to make it, you better get your life together. It's both. It's a mix of, and no one told me to do anything. I mean, as a comic, weirdly enough, you're you, and you're talking about yourself, so you are going to be you. But I wanted to do it too, and I'm going through it right now. I mean, I do not have great eating habits, and when I grew up, we just ate because you had to eat. You had to, food was never celebrated, or food was just something you had to do. And so I eat a lot of fast food and a lot of chain food, and I get in bad and on the road. And I do realize it can get in the way, though. I realized that. I stopped drinking in like 2018 because I knew if I wanted to get where I wanted to get as a comic, this was going to be in the way. And so I've realized that with food too. If I want to do this thing, I want to do stand-up at this high level, probably just make some movies, all this kind of stuff. Even for myself, I realized, all right, well, I have to go put in the effort for me to be able to handle all this kind of touring and the mentality it takes to stay focused.
Which is interesting to hear you say that, because you don't think of the image that pops into the mind when one thinks of a comedian is not like a super fit guy.
I always say I'm looking forward to the day you can't see my nipples through my shirt. So that's it. That's all we're working towards. One day we're going to get there.
And I know you're working on a new hour of material. Can you share maybe a joke or a section of it that you're feeling good about?
The thing about nothing to do, that's one that I'm working on, because it's, that there's nothing to do. And so the joke I do is bowling's still around, because that's how, if you and your wife and your family is like, let's go do something, you go out to eat, you can go see a movie, and you get to bowling a lot quicker than you probably should be. It's 2025, so we have AI. I feel like bowling is a caveman sport that should have faded out. But that's how little there is to do, that it's still hanging around.
We're obviously talking ahead of the publication of your book, Big Dumb Eyes. And, you joke in the book about not being much of a reader. The way you've put it is, books, they just have too many words. And to help readers, you threw in some blank pages in your own book to help. I think the way you put it is help readers
keep their head above water.
But now that
get your head above water.
Get your head above water. But now that you've written a book, are you feeling any differently about books?
I thought of it last night as I was watching something. Like on TV, I'm like, I was like, I think this is when you should be reading, like before bed. I was like, I think that's when people do it. That's why there's reading lamps and reading lights and all that kind of stuff. But I was thinking about getting just a fun book, like what's an easy one? So it's like, let's start with something super fun and then just get into a habit.
Do you have a sense of what that book would be?
I looked up like the most popular books. It was like Christina Agatha. Is that her name? It's like an author.
Agatha Christie. Yeah.
Agatha Christie. So I was backwards. I think I'm dyslexic, so that should count as I said it correctly in my head.
Wait, that wasn't just a bit, Christina Agatha?
No, I thought that's what it was. Yeah, he goes, I ride the line. You don't know what's a bit, what's not a bit. That's what I'm very protected. No one can really tell what's going on. And then I can, depending on who I'm talking to, I can decide if it was dumb or not.
And, even just the title, Big Dumb Eyes, but you already sort of made some self-deprecating allusions to your own level of intelligence. But I know that's sort of the persona, but stand-up, almost by definition, at least from my perspective, really requires intelligence. Comedians can act stupid or tell stupid jokes, but comedy involves crafting the material. It involves observational insights and editing the material. You need to have some facility with words. Are there aspects of comedic intelligence that you feel that do transfer over to day-to-day life?
It's being awareness. Being aware of just your surroundings and what's going on. You're looking for material. You're looking for things that happens to make a joke about or tell a story about. So you're always very alert. I mean, it's exhausting because it just doesn't feel like it turns off. And you analyze every interaction you have. Like, I don't know if this person knows what he's talking about. I like seeing when I can see two people talk and I realize that neither one of them really know what they're saying to each other, and they're kind of on a different page. That's very fun to watch.
Is there an example recently that comes to mind of just something just out in the world that you observed and thought, oh, maybe there's material in here for me?
One of it was my dad. My dad and my buddy Nick Novicki. Nick, his eyesight's bad, and he's just kind of won't be paying attention. And then my dad's older, and they won't. So I watched them one time have a conversation in a hot tub. And so Nick asked him he's like, how's everything going? And my aunt was not doing well at the time. So my dad's like, well, my wife's sister's not doing that well. Then Nick goes, well, that's, it's good to hear. Because he doesn't hear him. So they won't just acknowledge that neither one of them know what's going on. So they're just having conversations. And then Nick got out, dried off, and threw his towel away in a trash can because he thought it was the towel bin. So something like that. you can tell no one's really invested in what each other's saying.
You're just on the subject of larger ambitions. Something that I've seen you say in other interviews was, I think you mentioned, I don't know if you were being totally serious, but wanting to build something to replace the old Opryland amusement park with Nate Land.
Yes.
What's missing in the amusement park space that you think you could help fill?
Well, like, I mean, just talk about the state of Tennessee and Nashville alone. Nashville is a great city that's booming, and there's a lot to do. There's not a lot to do with your family there. So when you have kids and stuff, you can go to Broadway, you can go drink and the bachelor parties and all this, and a Titans game, and there is great stuff to do, but there's not a lot of stuff that you can do with your family. What I like about when people come to my shows is that it's children to grandparents are at these shows. They're able to go do something as a family. I think a lot of entertainment now is not made for the whole family. It's usually, even television or movies can be very much separating in the fact that, you know, I'm watching Narcos and my wife watches Housewives, and there's not a show that we're necessarily watching together. And so I do think there's a void in that, and so I'm just gonna, I look at stuff to go do with my daughter. I love, when we lived in California, we would go to Disneyland all the time, and like essentially, you look at Disney, and it's like essentially I would like to be able to build something in that aspect where people can. It's a big one, but
you're not lacking in ambition. That's good.
No, I don't care. I mean, well, the ambition's like, I don't know. I've done all this. I'm nobody, dude. I just want to make stuff that people have somewhere to go to with their whole family, and it's easy to watch and it's fun.
Maybe this is related, but in the acknowledgments of the book, they're right at the end of the acknowledgments, you're writing to your fans, and you say, or you write that it might not always seem like it, but I do have a plan, and I hope you keep rolling with me. What's the plan?
The plan is, I'm kind of doing it. It's like the theme park. It's the plan is to be, if you found me, if you like what I'm doing, and this is, I don't want to betray that trust. So the plan is just to trust me. I don't plan on touring forever and doing stand-up forever. I want to make movies. I think you get a lot of times like people can think like, like if you get too big, or you're going to change, or you're going to go. Look, in the South, I can tell you right now, you can be like, oh, you're Hollywood now, or you're this, or you're that, or you're going to. The audience is very much in my mind with everything that I will make, and I will make stuff hopefully for them and with them in mind. I'm not doing it, again, I try not to do it for me. It's not to get my point across. My point does not matter. It's for you. And so I want them to be able to trust that, keep coming and see that I'm trying to do something I think that's a little against the grain right now. And weirdly enough, something being broad is, I like when I started comedy, I always thought when some comics would be like, well, I'm not for everybody. And I would be like, well, why would you not want to be for everybody? And so I want to be for everybody.
After the break, Nate and I talk again, and he tells me about his desire to serve a sorely neglected comedy audience. Hi, Nate. How are you?
David, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for taking the time to talk with me again.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a thing Mark Maron wrote earlier this year, just on his website, where he was writing about the importance for him of doing political comedy. Mm-hmm. And the way he put it was that like challenging people in real time with provocative material is where the real feels happen. Mm-hmm. And I'm just curious to know your response to something like that. But is it just that a guy like him and a guy like you are almost working in two separate fields?
Yeah, it's just different types of comedy. I went on the road for Mark Maron. I opened for Mark Maron. I learned a lot that I do on stage is stuff that I learned from him. Maron is very much himself on stage, and so I always try to mimic that, to be how close can I be to me off stage to on stage. I think there's a place for that. There's for Maron doing it, and you need that. You can have that. You can also have this. I always joke that I'm a comics parents comic. I think it's, I stand behind my stand-up. I work on it very, very hard. But yeah, you do feel sometimes a little like, because I'm clean, like, yeah, you can get looked at like, wow, of course he sells all these tickets. It's easy. It's like he's not doing anything challenging.
Did he get me that good?
I mean, I don't know. I kind of disagree with that, but because it's hard to, mainstream is not something that's easy to attain, even with movies. You know what I mean? Sandler did. That's not easy. That's why there's not 40 Sandlers.
I remember you on The Tonight Show, 2016, and you did a couple jokes about how you like Donald Trump, but then the joke was basically like, because you're so stupid that you, that you believe all the like insane promises that he made, and but then in the same routine, then you say you had these jokes about, well, you wouldn't vote for him. In that instance, then the joke wound up being because you were essentially too stupid to figure out how to go vote. Yeah. But would you do material even on that level now?
I would now if I felt it. So that was the reason I wrote that joke, was because everybody was saying they didn't like Trump. Every comedian. So all the jokes were saying I didn't like Trump. So then I thought, how can I make a joke that say I do like him, and be able to do it on Tonight Show where I write a line where no one's going to get mad. I don't want the people voting for Trump to get mad. I don't want the people that are not voting for Trump to get mad. I wanted to say the opposite of what everybody else was saying. So if I have an idea and I can do that, I will do that. I do like that challenge.
Are there other topics like that come to mind where you feel an instinct to kind of go against the herd in that way?
Yeah, I did it with the peanut allergies. I had a joke on about airplanes, like, when they say you can have peanuts, like, who are these adults addicted to these peanuts this bad? These kids are going to die. And so that was one that, there's a lot of people that would make fun of the peanut allergy aspect. And so it's just going the opposite way and just defending the kids that have the peanut allergies. I like that. I like writing that line and not just... And just, again, and when you make it self-centered, it's much easier to ride the line.
All right, help me understand this aspect of you.
What?
Because I was thinking about it and I can't quite wrap my head around it. So you're this, seemingly humble, low-key guy who, is happy living on a cul-de-sac and, doesn't want to go Hollywood. But then you also alluded to ambitions to build Nateland into, and this is your comparison, like a Disney level production. So that which is not a normal size goal, even for a famous comedian. So is there like another more aggressive side to you when it comes to business? Like, help me reconcile the two seemingly disparate sides of Nate Bargatze.
It is. I'm very driven. I didn't go to college, barely made it out of high school. Like, it's like my mind just thinks, because I don't understand most business stuff. So you kind of just, I think I just, maybe it's naive. Just, I'm like, well, why can't we do it that way? When everybody's like, you can't. I'm like, well, why not?
I'm not buying the whole yokel shtick, buddy.
I'm good. I'm the thinker, the talker, like the visionary, I guess. And then you good at putting people around you that do know all that kind of stuff. Because I never had a real job, so I don't know any of that stuff.
What's the last idea you had, the most recent idea you had, where you then said to someone you work with, like, can we make that happen?
So on the arena tour, when I first started going, our screens, because you're in an arena, I wanted the screens to be bigger. I was like, they should be bigger because I want the experience for the audience to be as great as it can be. And I was told they can't be bigger. And I just remember, I was like, well, I don't think that makes sense. And I'm fine with being told no, but I just want to know it went through the whole system. I want to be told exactly, like, the building's not big enough or whatever. And for this next tour, we do have bigger screens. I mean, I get a lot of people when I say I want to do a theme park, and I've had it with friends. where I say I want to do this, and they're like, "Why? Why would you? You can't do this." You basically get told you can't do anything because no one, because it doesn't make sense for, I guess, how I've lived to think that I want to go do all this other stuff.
What would be in the Nateland theme park?
Just rides.
Rides.
No, I thought about, different parts, and ideally I would want it to be like a Universal Studios kind of thing where we can be shooting movies on one part and then you have the theme park on the other, and kind of just build that. I just want to build a world where people can be discovered. I think that's a big driving point for me, is like when I came up, I think a lot of people would not get out of the way for the next younger people. They're in comedy clubs when you're coming up, and you can't get spots at that club because the guys that have been there for 15 years are not moving or going somewhere else. And so I want to have places for new artists to be able to, I don't know, come do something.
I don't want to be another one of those naysayers, but like a Universal Studios / theme park, I think you need like $1 billion to do that.
Yeah, well, then look, we got some stuff we got to get through, I was going to ask you how much money you have, if you could give it to me. We're asking for everyone doing a Venmo. You need a lot of stuff. I do agree. You need a lot of things. The one thing I've learned, though, is in a business, money's not the problem. People have a lot of money. There's a lot of money, and money gets used in a lot of different ways and stuff like that. So, yeah, I hopefully we can get there. This is not something that is going to be tomorrow, but I don't, I feel
I don't know why I'm
driven
getting
to do it.
beat up so bad right now.
So yeah,
Because I think I'm too ambitious.
I want to go back to the book. In it, you mentioned that you were raised Baptist. Your parents are Baptist, and you write very movingly about how your dad at one point found a deeper level of faith. You call it his moment of testimony.
Yes.
Have you had a moment of testimony?
Yeah, I think I feel sometimes I'm having it now, I think that's where the drive and all this stuff is coming from, to make sure that you can bring your child to my stand-up show, that, that I want you to come as a family and you go do stuff. And I think about those moments of, I have with my daughter, all these little dumb moments of you going to the movies with your family because it's fun to watch your kid try to talk you into buying candy and popcorn, and all these little silly kind of moments that you think back on. So I think I'm going through it now. I think it's constantly having to work on it, constantly just reminding myself to be out of it and make sure that this life is not about me. So, yeah, it's just it's constant going on.
So I think I follow what you're saying, and the idea is that there's almost like a deeper motivation or a spiritual impetus between trying to create these moments for families where families can be together, and that in some way is your attempt at doing service for God. Is that right?
Yeah, it's attempted service to, it's a big belief to be I am second. Being second to God, second to your family, second to, I believe the audience, second to everybody. You kind of live to serve. So it's very much a calling in that aspect that I feel. But again, it's it's trying to ride that balance of where I don't want, and I don't want anybody that's not this or that or whatever everybody is not really, that doesn't matter. I just want to make something that all of them can be in the room together. And I feel it's driven on a bigger purpose for me, but, it's like everybody has their own things.
I sense a little hesitation on your part in wanting to say there's a spiritual motivation behind it, but I think
you are nervous. You get worried about being labeled. You don't want to be this kind of thing because being, stuff gets faith-based or stuff gets like that. Like people write stuff off, or they take it, especially now, in very different ways.
Yeah, but it's like the moments when you're with your kids and your wife or your partner and you're all doing something and just having a joyful time.
I'm not a particularly religious person, but those are holy moments.
I mean, that's where really what it comes from. I remember our daughter's first movie was Moana. And so going to sit and watch it in the back, we sat in the very back, and, you know, it's like the whole experience of that day is like, that's something that I remember. And that's like that's a dumb day. In the grand scheme of things, you're not doing, no one's in school, no one's taking a test, it's not this crazy important days, but those kind of days those are the ones that you tend to go back to and remember. And so, yeah, creating those moments. I always see I'll have a lot of grandmothers come to my shows, and they love me. I do really good with grandmothers. And I always love that because I don't think there's much being made that they could go to or that they want to go to.
Certainly not stand-up comedy.
No. That's the goal. I'm trying to be only grandmothers. Shows are at 8:30 a.m. That's the late show.
Yeah, earlier you had mentioned that you don't plan on touring forever or doing stand-up forever. Do you actually know currently when you'll stop?
I do. I could see the next specials will be on Netflix. I could see maybe one more special after that. And I don't want to overstay my welcome. I also want to get out of the way. If I preach it and I was frustrated by it, I need to live by that. And so I do think there's a point I need to get out of the way. I need to step aside and let the next wave of comedians come up. And I don't want to be just hovering always, in the spotlight. And, I got this tour and then maybe one more tour. And then just from there, just kind of, I got movies I want to do and then do that and then start running Nateland.
Wow, I have to say I feel like that's big news that Nate Bargatze knows he's going to stop in a couple of years.
Yeah. We're doing this interview in 10 years, and I'm like,
Got it.
You know what? I got back into it. All right, I'm only doing stand-up. I don't have a theme park. I have a carnival. I have a carnival that travels. That's all I can make it. It couldn't do a theme park. Still something. There's still some rides.
Not bad.
Hi, my name is Nate Bargatze, and I feel a heaviness about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
All right. Now, what's the heaviness about, Nate?
It's just I think you come with a lot.
You are correct.
Yes.
Give the man his prize money.
Right? Yeah.
Hey there. Welcome to Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. I am Conan O'Brien, and Sessian is right next to me, drinking a massive glass of water.
It is massive.
And you're taking this really weird, over-articulated sip. And then here's Gorley creating characters in real time.
I'm scared of it spilling again, and then Eduardo getting mad at us.
Eduardo is very, very strict about liquids getting anywhere near the electrical ports.
Because both of you have spilled water.
Yes. And you have not?
Oh, I'm perfect. I never spilled. I know podcasting. I care about equipment.
It's right. You can joke, but it's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did spill one time.
Well, I didn't.
Big bag of D's nuts.
Listeners.
See, we were chatting just before we went on mic.
Yeah.
Sona was doing tons of D's nuts jokes.
During a very important meeting.
I became irritated and said, what was the beginning of all the D's nuts thing? We all started trying to plow into how D's nuts got started, and then Eduardo, you had a theory.
Yeah, Dr. Dre on the Chronic album in 1992 had a track called These Nuts.
Right. Now, where do you think do you think that started it, or do you think, was it a thing before that?
In terms of pop culture, I think absolutely. I'm sure it came well before that.
But I know that D's Nuts really took off when? When did it really take off where?
What was the heyday of D's Nuts?
This is a real nerdy conversation.
And can we have a D's Nuts-a-sance?
You don't analyze D's nuts. You just D's nuts.
Yeah.
You just do it.
Now, you say D's Nuts a lot?
I do. I say a lot of, like, guy stuff. Like, suck this.
What?
I don't want to say suck my dick, but I sometimes
what you say.
You know
I know, that is what I say, but I felt really gross being, like, very vulgar right away. But yeah, sometimes I tell people suck my dick.
Right. And is that a common thing for women to say they have a penis, even if they don't have a penis?
No, it's not common. I'm.
So you're an uncommon.
I'm unwell. I think is what it is.
So
yeah.
and that's a regular thing you've been doing for years, is telling people to suck your dick.
Yeah, and then once on Broad City, Ilana Glazer's character says to another guy, she goes, "Suck my dick."
Yeah. And did you high five the screen at that moment?
Yeah,
Did
it was
you
like
feel
it's not just
robbed?
me.
Yeah.
And so did Caitlin Olsen's character in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
This is what I know.
Yeah.
You know, Matt knows Star Wars and Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
You know the Civil War.
Civil War.
I know suck my dick when a woman says it.
Now, what if our two interests coincided and I was talking about a guy in the Civil War who said suck my dick to General D's nuts of the Union Army?
Yeah. And General Lando Calrissian was there as well.
Yeah. General Lando Calrissian.
Worlds collide.
Yeah, and all our worlds came together, and it meant the end of the world. It was matter meeting antimatter, meaning what's the matter?
Oh, come
listen,
on.
so
Come on.
what about now? You're a mom now, which
I know.
still horrifies me.
I know,
Have
me
your
too.
kids? What happens if your kids hear you? Maybe they're in their room playing with what Soviet toy your husband gave them, and what that little.
They play with American toys too.
Oh, now they have those?
Wow,
Good.
what a country.
Wow.
I came there once, and there was a little wind-up Gorbachev with lead paint on it. It just says over and over again, "What happened to the wall? Where's the wall?" So anyway, if you're and Tack are having an argument, and the kids hear it, and you shout at Tack, "Suck my dick," D's nuts.
I never say it in a serious setting.
Oh, that's okay. So they're not.
Your
picking
house
up
is
on
not a serious setting. I've been to your house. It's not a serious setting.
Yeah, but it's not like I say it jokingly, like "suck me dick," you know,
Oh, and then
or
your
like
kids
"These
know-
nuts."
and your kids
'Cause
know the
I
difference.
don't actually have a penis, and it's okay. That's
Well,
the
it's-
joke.
Who knows? But my thing is,
I know.
oh, okay. Just check when you get home. But my question is
if I
this.
find one.
Yeah. Whoa! Where have you been? I
It's
go
not
months at a
often
time
that
without seeing mine.
I censor myself, but during this conversation, like, you know how RoboCop has that readout? I've
Yeah.
had all these things come to mind to say, and I have cut every single one
Why
of
would
them.
you
Not
do
me.
that?
I don't have one of those.
I
My
know you
screen
don't.
broke a
I
long
don't
time
know.
ago.
Clearly, I don't either. What are
I
you
don't know,
cutting
just-
out? Why would you do that?
know.
It's
I
just
just-
us, man. We're just having a good
Yeah,
time.
us and a million listeners.
Why am I the only one who says things like this? If you you can't censor. We don't.
I
cens.
normally don't.
He normally
weird.
doesn't. But his not censoring
on.
is different than your not censoring.
That's true.
He'll think, oh, I could make a Lando Calrissian
No,
reference.
that's not true.
But I think I won't.
This time, because she was
But
saying.
you're talking about dicks and cocks and, you know.
And that's why I'm censoring myself, because I was going to say milk these titties. See, that's why I censored
You know what? You
myself.
should have censored
I
yourself.
know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's too late now.
I know.
No, but you know what? That's not a saying. You can't just.
can't.
Can I
It
just
is
say this?
now.
It-
Wait, that's going to catch on like wildfire.
No, it's not, because it doesn't roll off the tongue, Milk D. But D's nuts, it's just bang, it's
milk
done.
D's no, but that's also you can say that to a lactating woman, but not every woman's lactating. Every guy has nuts. You can say.
Oh, what
D's
up, Al?
nuts
No,
like
I
that.
think Hitler was missing one.
No, that's
Well,
that's
What's
going on,
that's
dude?
not true.
You
by
could
the
say
way.
D's nut if someone's
you have
lost
to say dis
one.
nut.
Dis
nut.
But with the D. Dis.
You know
No, I just
Milk
ate.
these titties.
Can I
Milk
say
these
this?
titties.
We could go over the schedule for this week too.
This is very hard to do, Matt, but we were.
I got it written
D's
down. We'll
nuts,
figure it
and
out
took
right
us
now.
Down the wrong path.
Tomorrow are you opening? Or
Which
who's
is
opening?
next to impossible to do.
Let me just
on a
finish this and
discussion
then
of
we'll do
these
it.
nuts.
Because I'm
Wouldn't
live
it
right
be
now.
singular? It would be
Tomorrow I'm
singular
opening.
on nuts. Wouldn't it be singular? What? How did D's nuts get boring?
All right.
There are adolescent kids right now going, this D's nuts conversation
Oh my God.
isn't panning out. No, I'm not going to rap.
No, can we
D's
also
nuts.
talk? D's Nuts came out when 1992.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been going strong for over 30
I think
years.
it's he's been going
If
strong.
ever,
No,
it's been he.
she's been going strong. That's
No.
impressive.
Okay, I want to say before this is taken down another unceremonious path
I'm just talking about
that
its
we were
importance.
talking about the beginning of a great American phrase, and I thought that was a worthwhile discussion, and I'm glad that we did it.
Okay.
I don't think milk these titties is going to become a thing.
Oh, you'll see.
I think we should. I think we should sell Team Coco merch with that phrase
Milk
on
these
it.
titties.
Yeah,
Milk
see how
these
it does.
titties. I will
and
not
I
be
get
wearing
100% of the income of that because I not
And
only
should it-
coined
should
but
it then-
crafted that.
Should it then be parentheses lower down the t and not D's nuts?
Yeah. I think
to incorporate the earlier, more popular phrase, to give a turbo boost to the Milk D's titties.
I don't think it needs it. I think Milk D's titties works on
How
its
about we
own.
make them both,
can't
one
milk-
polyester, one cotton, and we see if it catches on?
You can't milk nuts.
Well, you can, actually. All right. We'll take a break. We
there's
just found
no-
out that our funding from PBS has been cut. It says right here. And Sona, you go and read up on some basic biology. Let's
Milk
get into
'em?
it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, my guest today. Sona.
What are you?
Sona.
I'm sorry.
What's that?
Nothing. My RoboCop thing is going off,
Yeah,
and
huh?
I'm saying no, no, no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
it
Well, if
happens.
Sona's editing
I
herself,
know.
it's time to call
Now I really want to know.
Ripley's Believe It or Not.
what
My
was
guest
it?
today is a hilarious comedian who's currently on his Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. God, he's good. Tickets are available at natebargatze.com. We're thrilled he's here today. I love him. Hilarious comedian, lovely fellow. Nate Bargatze, welcome. We've known each other a long time. I
Yes.
met you. What was the year that you first came on my late night show?
2008. You
Yeah.
were my first late night appearance.
Yeah,
it was
and-
late night Conan.
And you have, I think I saw somewhere you were describing the experience of pulling up to 30 Rock, and you hadn't done a late night show before?
No.
And were you nervous about that?
Yeah, well, well, you said that this is where I didn't know New York. They go, limos will come pick you up, but it's just a town car. But I'm from Nashville, so I'm like, you just start throwing the word limo around. I'm expecting a real limo.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was just a town car. You're like, all right, you know. I mean, I was still excited, but it was like, all right. A little deflating. I thought it was going to be a limo. And then...
You wanted to put your head through the window?
Yeah.
Like you were on prom night?
Yeah.
Woo! He was wearing, I remember he came on and he was wearing a low-cut dress.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Yes.
was all excited for prom.
In a corsage.
Yeah.
They so then we pulled up front. It was me and my wife, and then there's people got cameras taking pictures of the guests that are going to be on Conan that coming out of the car. And so right when they pull up, I'm like, this is not going to be good, you know, because I'm just my first time doing late night. Julie Louis-Dreyfus, I think, was on the show. So they're looking for that. And then I come out, and right when I walk out, one of them goes, "It's nobody." Oh. And yeah. And then, and then one guy did take a picture. I saw he didn't even hold it up to his eye to make sure. He just kind of held it
Shot
down
it from his chest. Yeah.
Yeah. And he goes, I guess just 'cause he saw me, he's like, might as well just see if something. Maybe
And you could
something.
hear him press delete.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a very audible sound. Trust me. Many a paparazzi has deleted the photo while I'm standing there.
You know what happened too with that on my first one with you? Because I would say with comedians, if we mess up on stage, because you're up there alone.
Yep.
And so when you usually like right when you get off stage, if you said something wrong, you're saying it to whoever the first person comes near you because you just haven't talked to anybody. And I messed up, but no one would even be able to tell. But in my head, I knew I messed up a joke. And when you came over and you're like, "Nate Bargatze," and you're like, "All right, whatever," and then you shake your hand again, I go back to you. I go, I think I messed up that one joke, and you're like, "I don't." All right. And then we just walked back. Like there was, it wasn't like it was a. You know, it was like I stumbled a word.
Yeah.
But I remember I always tell people that story. Like the first thing I said to Conan when he comes over, I'm like, I think I messed up. You're like, I don't. All right.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
It was my 15,000th show.
Yeah.
And you get, but also, you were great out of the gun. I mean, just right. So natural, so funny, and you came back a bunch, which I really appreciated. And it's fascinating to me. I'm a huge fan of yours because I've encountered you a bunch of times out in the world. You were at the SNL 50th, and I don't know if you remember. I mean, I certainly remember it, but I got invited by Martin Short. Like, do you want to come have dinner with Steve and I are going to have some caviar and champagne the night before the 50th, you know, to sort of pregame. And I thought he was joking about the caviar and champagne. And I show up, and it's the two of them there, and you're there too.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but I will never be jaded about Steve Martin and Martin Short. Do you know what I mean? And so I was just, I think like you, just happy to be there.
Yeah, I just happened upon. I was walking out, and they were like, "Hey, we're going up to have dinner." They didn't tell me you were coming, and they just said, "We're going up to have dinner." And I was, and they're like, that was actually funny. I was going to meet Spade.
Yeah.
And then you're like, "All right, let me go out there," and like I just went up there to tell them a little bit, and I'm kind of like, I gotta
get out of here.
Like, but it's crazy because you're just talking to Steve Martin Short, and then Conan, then you come, and then you're like, I mean, it's just sitting there. You're like, this is the most surreal dinner. I've never had caviar. That's the first time I had caviar.
I'm not a fan of caviar.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were you? Did you like it?
I liked it there, but I could have been swept up in the moment. I'm not against.
It's off-brand for you.
Yes, and I could have just been in that moment, being like, it's the best thing ever.
I was really happy because we got to hang out a little there, and then after the Oscars, I go to this after party. I think it was a Vanity Fair party. And I run into you and a friend, and I think I talked to you guys for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like safe with you guys. Like, this will be nice. I can hang out with these guys.
We did too. Yeah, I think comedians are kind of just tend to go, because when you're at those parties, you're like, I don't know what I'm going to say to half these actors. Like, I don't, it's like, but with us, we just went over there and we all just hung out, and it was the best.
Yeah.
Just found a corner and then just
chewed the fat. It was really fun.
Yeah. There's a safety
Yeah.
when you feel it with other comedians that you're like, you're not going to say anything wrong, where no one's going to get mad, or not
You
that
said
you would.
two things that were wrong, and I
You
got real mad. Yeah.
But those are, I know,
You said my lips are thin and unappealing.
Yeah. I know.
You talked about my prominent eye vein.
That's what I told my buddy Nick. I go, I think we got to get out of here. Conan's pretty upset. I go,
I've been delighted for everything you've made happen in your career. You are spectacularly funny, and it's interesting because you talk a lot about how you're all about normal. You're just a normal person. You're exactly average, and I think you've been very good at comedically exploring that realm. And I understand what you're saying, but you're also not. You are insanely talented. And when I watch you do comedy, you have such a natural style that I don't think your heart rate increases at all when you go from backstage to you get up on stage. I think you burn maybe 3 calories the whole set.
Definitely. Yeah.
And
I put on calories.
I'm always watching you gain weight. Usually around the middle.
He's getting bigger.
Yeah.
By the end of it, he's big.
But there's such a economy of words. There's not a wasted word anywhere in there, but it appears as if you're just talking about what's on your mind. And I know there's a lot of thinking and work that goes into that, but you make it look like anyone can do this. And I think that in that way, you are anything but average. I think you're quite singular in your ability to do that.
I'm the greatest average.
Yes, you are.
That's what I have a special called the Greatest Average American. Yeah.
I was talking about Tennessee with...
thank you for saying all that stuff.
Okay.
That's not,
Yeah, well,
I don't know if he's going to go into like a Tennessee bit now.
It wasn't a bit.
And I don't even address it.
I'm not going to do a bit. I wasn't going to do a bit. Hold on a second. Let me black out this tooth.
Yeah.
If those revenuers come from my still. There, I had to get that out.
Yeah. No, it was good.
Well, I meant everything I said, but I love how I don't think so many people are altered by fame. You seem like someone who has not changed in any way.
I hope not. I mean, it's you just do crazy things. But I live in Nashville. We live in a cul-de-sac. Like, I mean, we keep everything as normal as we can.
Yeah.
And moving back home was a big part of that. But I appreciate saying about the words because it is conversational, and people think it's just like I'm up there just talking. But I'm not a great. I've never was a crowd work person. I can't. Right. I'm not good with. I like knowing what I'm doing. It's very planned.
Yep.
And I know what I'm gonna get on with, get out with. I make sure it's all trained. Like it is. It's a whole.
Well, I'm gonna be boring
thing.
For a second because this is something I want to know. And sometimes I think there might be people out there that think, oh, don't. When Conan talks about comedy, or they might think it gets too nerdy and in the weeds. But I'd love to know what your process is. Do you when you think of these ideas, do you sit down and write it out, or is this something and you edit it and you work it, or how does it work? How does Nate Bargaze do this?
I write a lot of times I come up with the funny part first.
Yeah.
And so I'll put that maybe in my notes on my phone, but I don't write out outside of that. Then I just think about it, and I'm really big on how you present it and the transitions and how you get. I think that's something that I've learned over time, that it's like the jokes, when you write a thing where you want to go jokes are the easiest thing for comedians, especially. It's like, that's going to be easy. We can go throw a script down and everybody can pitch 500 jokes on it, but it's making it make sense and making it
flow,
and that's
got to flow.
Yeah. And that's the part that I'll let it sit in my head. I just kind of think about it all day, and I just like, there'll be different times that like, oh, you know what, I'll put that there, and maybe I grab one little. I had a joke, the big one that I talked about. So I had a joke buying iced coffee with milk at Starbucks that everybody talks about. So I tried to originally come up with a joke about how with milk, you don't buy it, like I never have it unless like a woman was in my house. So my mom, we had milk, and then the hour I lived alone until I met my wife, there was no milk. And then back with my wife's now we have milk.
Yeah.
So it was just, I try to make that a whole.
This is the service women provide.
Yes. They're good.
With them comes milk. In many ways. In many ways.
Yeah. They're good. This is what they have milk. So it's like it's just in them, And
ironic that the providers of milk also insist milk be present. But anyway, we'll get into that later.
This is funny. This is the part I go, no, you can leave this in.
Yeah.
I'll let you leave this in.
Sure, yeah.
But anyway, so it was the idea of that. And then I could never make it work as its own joke. So in that Starbucks joke, I put, like, I've never bought milk publicly in the history of my life. So all of that you hope it's going to be this big chunk, and it's not.
Yeah.
And it becomes one sentence in a story, but that it really expands that story. So I grab a lot of stuff for parts. And you go, all right, well, that's obviously it's not good. It didn't work as good as, this is the best it's ever worked, to be honest.
By the way, it's, and Sona's a tough audience, he said, lying. You talk about little jokes. You had it's a small, it's just a small run. It's not like a big hunk.
Damn,
but you
dude.
have this small run where you talk about how you'd be a terrible time traveler, because you'd go back in time and you wouldn't be able to prove that you were from the future because you don't know how anything works. And the minute you laid out the premise, I lay down on the floor and said, okay, I love this premise because it's true. I mean, I love jokes about history, and I'm kind of fascinated by history, and I work that vein a lot. But I also know that if they sent me back in time, I would be a little.
But that it really expands that story. So I grab a lot of stuff for parts, and you go, all right, well, that's obviously it's not good. It didn't work as good as, this is the best it's ever worked, to be honest.
By the way, it's, and Sona's a tough audience, he said, lying. You talk about little jokes. You had it's a small, it's just a small run. It's not like a big hunk, but you have this small run where you talk about how you'd be a terrible time traveler because you'd go back in time and you wouldn't be able to prove that you were from the future because you don't know how anything works. And the minute you laid out the premise, I lay down on the floor and said, okay, I love this premise because it's true. I mean, I love jokes about history, and I'm kind of fascinated by history, and I work that vein a lot. But I also know that if they sent me back in time, I would be a little used. Yeah. But you talk about how you couldn't prove it because you'd say, oh, no, we have something called cell phones. Well, how do they work? I don't know. And I thought the ideas are so fantastic because, A, they're true and they're really elegant. And you put yourself down a lot, which appeals to me because I was always very comfortable making fun of myself, and I don't. If I do find out that I've hurt someone's feelings, I run a temperature.
Yeah, me too.
I feel horrible. So I invented this way to kind of give people shit as this guy Conan, but if I ever found out that I really did bother Matt or Sona, I think I would be sick to my stomach.
Oh,
we
yeah.
We should tell you then.
Yeah.
Some things.
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
No,
Okay. Eduardo just killed the. Something's wrong
I
with
can
the.
hear him just fine.
Yeah.
No, I can
No, I
hear
think
him
it's
in
on the
headphones.
wire on my end.
We'll just start making a list.
But anyway,
Okay. All right.
I know
I
that.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would feel more mortified if I hurt someone's feelings.
Yeah.
And that's why I always wrote it inwardly. Like, and if you make fun of yourself, you can go as far as you want. But there is a something you got to do. You can make fun of yourself, but you have to do it. And you just have to show love, is what I've learned over time. So like, even if you talk about your family, your wife, or even yourself, you have to at least show some love, or people won't go with it. When I first started doing jokes about my wife, I could tell when I was younger, they were like, well, why are you even married? You're like, well, this is not coming out the way it's supposed to be coming out then.
Yeah.
I need to, and you have to have that balance where I can make fun of her, but me, and I kind of do it through me a little bit more. And as long as you're making fun of yourself and putting yourself as the loser, in a way.
Well, all my favorite classic comedians, the joke was on them.
Yeah.
They were in the mud. And so whether it's Laurel and Hardy, or it's Charlie Chaplin, or it's, W.C. Fields, or the list goes on and on and on, all the classic comedians, they were sort of, you were watching them go through their absurd miseries, and they were making it really funny. And that very much attracted me. I thought, I like this. This is kind of, this is the kind of stuff I want to do, and it's fun. And I think you're right when you talk about love coming out of it, affection, being good-natured about it. I think those are all crucial, and you can't come up with that as a formula. That I think has to be in you. That has to be part of your personality. And I know you were raised, you've talked a lot about it. There's probably nothing I can bring up on this podcast that you haven't discussed, but your childhood, your parents having really strong values and imparting that to you.
Yeah.
You did this, this great thing that I thought was hilarious, where you're over at friends' houses and they're going to watch a movie that's
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, and you stood up and said, I cannot watch this. You do the joke, 'cause it's really,
I forget, I'm blanking on it now.
Oh, you say,
I say I'm not allowed to, I don't think I'm allowed to watch this.
Yeah, and
I thought other people would join in.
Yeah, and you stood up and
Because
declared.
we were not 17.
No.
Like it said we're supposed to be.
Right, you were 16 and a half.
Yeah.
But my favorite part, you say that, and the woman, the mom there, comes in and says, well, maybe we just don't tell your parents. And you said, well, that's going to be hard because I just phoned them and they're on their way.
Yeah.
Such a great joke.
Yeah.
Your stuff is really funny, and I don't see crazy exaggeration in there. A lot of it feels true, and feels very honest. I will crazily exaggerate when it's necessary, but I have found that the hardest laughs come out of something that really happened.
Yeah, and that's the fun part, is like trying to figure out how to, because you can have little moments, and so how do you, like, even in that moment is like, it's a funny idea that I called my parents and then I went home is what really happened, and then but then it's like, how do you tell that in a way that's like not just a fun, like your friend at his school, oh, my kid went into this real fast.
Yeah.
So and that's the presentation of it, and like tell them on the journey is like, because it's one little thing that you're like, everybody's had happen to them, but it's how do you package it so they go along with it. One joke that I had that I wouldn't tell you is when I did when you were here in L.A. when you first in TBS, and I had a joke about getting in a fight. My buddy we took a bite out of his hamburger, and then he just immediately thought someone else did it at the restaurant. He got up to go fight him, and we had to like calm him down. This was back when I sent that joke into Letterman to do it, and they told me it was mundane, and so I had to look up. I didn't know what mundane meant, and so I was in my head. I'm like, I bet it's not great. Like I don't,
I picture you carrying a dictionary.
Oh yeah,
it was on a rope around your neck.
I looked at it. So mundane wasn't good, It wasn't a flattering thing. But then I was, I think I just did yours. I couldn't do that. You back when you're doing all these late nights. But then I went to you and you let me do it, and that always meant the most to me because I told Letterman this. He was mortified.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm glad.
I was glad too. Like it felt, it was like, because there was a joke that I was like, once I learned what mundane meant, I was like, well, I don't think it's that.
Yeah.
But it's you've always let comics, us come on your show and do stand-up, and was very pro stand-up, and so you were. Yeah.
Oh well, I'm glad it all worked out. The way my perspective is always different. I've had stand-ups, many stand-ups, thank me for their time on the show, and I think, what are you talking about? You came in, Nate, 4 times, and you were really funny for 6 minutes, and made the show better and brought your talent and put your shoulder to the wheel, and that was 6 minutes that I didn't have to sweat. So it's not that I didn't.
Yeah.
You were doing me a favor too.
That's true. Now that I
Yeah, you
think
should
about
present
it.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And frankly, I found that story very mundane.
Yeah. You told all the writers, we got a mundane one tonight.
I think I said it in your intro. Our next mundane comic hails from Old Hickory, Tennessee.
Don't worry, folks. He doesn't know what that means.
Yeah.
I come out. Thank
you know what
Tony.
it reminds me of this great. Thank you. You came out and you were holding the dictionary like, what? You remind me a lot, and this is the highest compliment I can pay any stand-up or any comedian, is you remind me a lot of Bob Newhart in that your stuff is, I'm sure you've heard this before, but very seemingly simple and delivered very quietly and as if it's just occurring to you in a very humble way with a straight face. And the jokes are beautiful. Bob Newhart has this joke, which is, I don't really like country music, but I don't want to condescend to those people who do. And by the way, if you like country music, condescend means to talk down to. And I always thought, like, that is a perfect, I've said this before, but a really good joke. You can riff and you can goof around, and it's like, there can be a good spirit to it, but it's like packing peanuts that come when you open a box. There's not much to it. A really good joke feels like a diamond in your hand. It has weight. It's like a little gold ingot. You can feel it. That's a joke, Newhart's joke, and your jokes feel like, oh, no. This has actual value. You can write this on a stone and hand it to people, and like 500 years from now, it's still going to be funny. Those are very hard to think of. You've got so many of them. You're crazily prolific. And I think one of the times you came on our show, I think you came on a second time or a third time pretty quickly after.
After the first time.
After the first time, you came back pretty soon, and people were saying, well, you can't come back that quickly because how
My
are you
manager told me. I didn't tell them. Well, you just had Mulaney, so this is a long term.
Yeah.
So Mulaney just did it, and Mulaney came back pretty quick. 3 months or something like that. And so then y'all were doing more auditions at Comedy Club Eastville, and I was like, oh, I want to try to do it again. And my manager at the time, which they were great. They're like some of my favorite managers. But they all just, it was back in the day, New York days, and they go, you can't do it again. And I was like, why not? And they go, they don't let people come back. I go, well, John Mulaney just came back. And not saying I was even Mulaney, but just like being well, there's
give it a shot. Give it a shot. Yeah.
And so they go, no. And then I just got I was like, well, I'm gonna go try to get on the thing. So I just did I went and did it, and the audition, and I got it without them. They found out. I wasn't gonna tell them. I was just trying to see if I could get on the show, and then have them find out with me on the show. Because my own managers were like, no. It was very funny to me. Your own team's like, I wouldn't even try again. He goes, we got lucky with that first one, so let's not push it.
You should probably you should go work at the steel mill now.
He goes, John Mulaney did it. You're no John Mulaney.
Yeah.
All right? I think we know what we're talking
These
about.
are great managers. You want to do comedy some more?
Yeah.
Isn't it something you do once and then you work the fields?
They're the best.
Sure, yeah.
And the
You
best
won't
in
name
those
them,
stories.
and I guess you're still not with them.
I feel bad. No, I'm not with them anymore.
I guess they really are the best then.
They're the best. I had the most fun stories. Like it's like they're it's when you first get managers where you're like they're just very fun stories. And so then I went and did it, and then Conan, your people called, which I didn't know they were going to do. And they go, all right, we got Nate tonight on and whatever. And so then he's like, so you got it? I go, well, you told me I couldn't do it again.
Yeah.
And so then he came down, and it was, and then we did it.
And he
it
took a
went great.
commission on the thing that he didn't get you.
Yeah. I like it.
Trust me, I've had my experience with that in the early days. You can't do that. Oh, I understand it's happening. Send the check to 1515 Wilshire Boulevard. Okay, you called me a loser. Yes, you are. Send the check just to me, not to anyone else.
I used to have another manager that when I first got it, I would call his office, and his wife was the secretary, and then he would answer the phone, or she would answer it, be like, let me see if he's in, and it would be like 35 seconds, minute, you'd be waiting, and then she'd be like, he's not here. And then one day he invites me to his office. His office is in his garage, and her desk is touching his desk. So then you're like, where were you for the minute? And then it was, and I had another one where the guy would answer his phone, and you could tell it was his voice. And he'd be like, answering for his name. And then you'd be like, oh, is he there? It's Nate calling. He goes, let me see if he's in. And then you hang up. And you wait a minute. And he goes, hey, yeah, I'm in. And you're like, yeah, that was you. You're acting like your own secretary.
Yeah.
Like you go.
I used to love, in the old days, it was fun. I would, when I got treated like that, to say, well, was it someone else's turn with the phone booth? I was pictured these people in a phone booth. Yes, it's quite busy here at Talent Co. You called it a good time.
Hey, buddy! That's your third quarter. When are you gonna get out of the way so I can make my call?
My wife's in labor.
Come on.
Well, the reason most people don't repeat that quickly is that they build up a really good set, and it takes a long time for the well to refill. And to your credit, and I'll say this about John Mulaney too, you guys are crazily prolific. You're much more prolific than most, which I think is so that's why it's a surprise that you would come up with a whole new set that quickly. And I still think it was a mistake. I think you should have gotten out at the top.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my next point. You have had, I can't walk 5 feet in America without seeing your face. You are a huge success, and I'm wondering how you're processing all of that, because you told your story about first coming on the show, the late night show, and people saying you getting out of a car and them not recognizing you. That's just not possible anymore. Are you handling it well? What's it feel like to you to have people everywhere know who you are?
Yeah, it's very different. I think you get used to it, or you're not used to it, but I always thought of it like, some of the hardest parts of this is when you don't know if they know you, because then I don't know what to do. I'm either going to be a lunatic to this person, or like, why is he acting like he has control of the whole room, or are they fans? I don't know. So I always thought, well, if I can get everybody to know, then I'm a little more in control. So if you walk in a room, you can just be like, hey, what's up? And you kind of know they know you. Right. So you can kind of make everybody feel like a fun room and we're all friends. And so when you're in that middle phase where it is straight up 50-50, I can't tell if they, do they know me? And then you'll be like, oh, I'm a comedian. They're like, yeah, I know. And you're like, well, you gave off like you didn't know at all.
Right.
And so
you're screwed either way if you say, hi, I ordered a coffee and it's for Nate Bargaze. Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
You're Nate. And so, but if you say, I ordered a coffee and I think you know who I am, you're a dick too. So.
Yes. Yeah, it's a hard balance. But in an overall perspective, how I try to handle it, that's a deeper feeling, is like I really try to remind myself that it's not about me. And so I'm living a life of service. And so it's like you should be serving the audience. So when you do a show, right before I go on stage, I remind myself this has nothing to do with me. This is not about me. It's not a celebration of me. It's a show for everybody in that crowd, and I need to do the best show for them.
Wow, that's great.
And so that's how I learned that once I did. So starting out, I always wanted to play Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, and it's our arena. And so, 20 years, I didn't really think I would get there, but I kind of daydreamed. I was handing out flyers in New York City and all this stuff, and you're coming up, and you're like, oh man, what if I can do this one day? And then
that was sort of the bucket list thing. I want to do Bridgestone Arena.
Yeah, it was just kind of far away, and it's kind of daydream. It's like it's a goal that your goals should actually be simple. They should be like, you'd be embarrassed if you can't get them, and then your dreams should be embarrassed to say them out loud. And so you just kind of have your goals are like, I'm trying not to hand out flyers. Yeah. Well, what do I got to do to stop that? And that's a realistic goal, because you're like, it's just a guy one level.
It's achievable. Right.
And so you can then figure out, all right, I got to do this. How do you get on late night? And then once you get in late night, you're like, all right, I've kind of got in. So if I keep doing late night and get TV credits, I can do cruise ships if I have to. Like, you can do whatever with, as you move on. And but then when I did Bridgestone and we sold the most tickets ever,
250 people.
250 people. It's a big room.
I just looked it up. It's he says arena, and that's cute. But
it's
I
an
guess
actual
in Nashville,
bridge made of stone.
It's a horse arena. There you go. And all seating.
Talk about a small dream.
Yeah.
No, how many people is it, Bridgestone Arena?
It's 19,365.
Okay.
And then but it's that night I remember having a feeling of like what am I, like, what do you, I've been looking at that dream for 20 years. And so then you're like, well, what am I looking at now?
Yeah.
And then you just got to kind of find, and what I've started with like my Nateland company is like, you just find something else that you realize like, oh, I need to have something else.
Yeah.
And you put it out there, then have a daydream and do the same thing, see if it happens.
This is amazing. You're going to make, you call it an amusement park?
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. I'm gonna call it.
This was not amusing at all.
Yeah,
I was not amused.
We want to be a decent park.
Yeah,
just where people.
You set the bar low.
Yeah.
A place you can go.
We're a little bit above a Buc-ee's. Like it's Buc-ee's, then we're just a little bit above Buc-ee's.
A B amusement park.
Yeah,
amusement park.
Well, I mean, good luck with that. And I just love the idea of you looking at different. People are going to be making sketches and drawings of different rides and things, and you're going to be saying, nah, or a little more of this.
A little bit more steeper.
Yeah, steeper. More dangerous. More dangerous.
Is there a mascot? Is there going to be like a mascot of you?
No,
or
I
how's
don't
it
know.
gonna
Look,
work?
I mean, we're very early. Obviously, this could all crumble and fall apart and go nowhere. I don't know. I know. It's like I started making movies, and it's or I just only made one. But the idea of it is like theaters. I don't think theaters are like, they're not going away. Like people love going out and to do stuff, and there's just not stuff for them to go do. So if you can go make movies where a family can go out, I love taking my daughter to the movies. It's like they've gotten so far off where they're either making an animated movie or a horror movie, and there's nothing really to go to, and then a lot of stuff's on Netflix now. So you just kind of at home. So I think experiences is something that is, you're seeing even younger kids really want to do experiences. They want to go do something. They want to, the idea of like we used to get dropped off at the theme park at Opryland, and you could just go hang out with your friends all day. And you want to, I want to give that to a parent, because that's like, even for that kid, like they get to go be around their 15-year-old friends, and it's part of growing up, and it's the fun aspect, and have a safe place for them to go do that, where you can trust they can do it. Like I like the old timey, like people worked at Ford, their whole family worked for Ford. Like the idea of that, where people just worked at this company and they had real pride. You ever see like a older person that worked for like a Ford, they will defend Ford to their death. And I loved the like pride of whatever they did, that it was like a company.
My first car that I bought was a Ford, and the first new car that I had a lot of crappy old cars.
Your Ford Taurus?
My Ford Taurus. Yeah, and guess what? They just found it.
It was involved in a crime.
Did you try to take it for insurance
No,
reasons?
I'm telling you, this is a true story. 3 days ago, I get a message from Jason Chalemi, who's been with me forever, who's my right hand, and he said he knew someone who worked over at Warner Brothers, and he asked them to drop by their parking garage and just look around, and they sent back photos of the '92 Ford Taurus that I owned, that I had through. I got that show. I got that show. It was a show. It's a super high output. I got that Ford Taurus. I got that Ford Taurus when in my 20s, and I had submitted a packet to The Simpsons and didn't know what was going to happen. And I was so cautious about money, but I just decided I'm getting a new car, and I get a '92 Ford Taurus. And then I got the job at The Simpsons, so that became my car in LA. And I had all these adventures in that car, and it became a standard thing that everyone knew about me.
Yeah.
And it always got a laugh because I'd be talking to, it would come up a lot. Well, I just got a new Ferrari or something. They go, what do you drive, Conan? I'd say 1992 Ford Taurus SHO, super high output. And it would get a laugh. And I'd be like, no, I'm being honest. That's what I really have.
What are you going to do with it now that you
I want to
found
get it. I want to chronicle this, but I want to get it rehabbed and bring it back. And I'm so excited. It is covered in grime. This person took photos, which we can post. It is covered in dust, but it's got its inspection sticker from 1992. Yeah.
It was just on a lot?
It's in the parking garage at this moment at Warner Brothers. I don't know why they haven't towed it away. We did a bit with it when I went through the whole Tonight Show thing, where I'm coming to work, and I assure the audience, I think there's a little tension with NBC right now, and we shot this thing where I pull in to the parking lot, and suddenly all this gunfire breaks out, and all these squibs went off in my car, and it blew holes in my car.
Damn, dude!
Their holes are still there. And its claim to fame is that the clutch is stripped because Brad Pitt did a bit with it once and got in it and peeled out, which I didn't know he was going to do. It's got a stick shift, and it's a Ford Taurus with a stick shift. That's the novelty. And he peeled out in this thing like the F1, Superman that he is. And later on, I noticed, the clutch is all Brad Pitt fucked up my Ford Taurus. And who can say that? Brad Pitt fucked up my Ford Taurus. So I want to bring it back. Maybe you and I will take a ride around.
Yeah, I would love it. I like a stick shift. I have a stick shift.
I do too. Yeah.
I had a joke, if you ever want to if you want to valet and leave your car up front, just drive a stick shift, because they don't
want to,
like, I mean, if they're younger, they don't know how to do it, and if they're lucky, they got like a cook in the kitchen that's like that hasn't done, and like he goes out, he's like, all right, everybody turn around, don't look at me, no one look at what I'm doing, because he's got to get back into it. It's how he learned, but he's like, give me a second, it's been a while, turn your back,
hold on. Put buckets over your heads. I have to ask you, because a couple things. One, you talk a lot about these restaurants that were your favorites when you were a kid, and they're still your favorites. Like, you talk a lot about Applebee's, places like that. And I was thinking, I relate to this because when I first came out to LA, I think I was not a worldly person, but I remember when I get out of college, I come out to LA, and I was so excited. There was a Denny's across the street from where I worked, and I remembered it dawning on me, no one's in charge of me anymore, and I'm making my own money. I can go to Denny's anytime I want.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was the king of the Nile, I felt like the greatest, and I would go over there and I'd be like, I'll have an extra large Coke, and no one can stop me. And I'm 22.
Yeah.
You'd think I'd have been a little more sophisticated, but I've always had a soft spot.
I relate
for those
to that
places.
so much. I think I have a big problem because of that reason. Like, it was like getting all this fast food. Not that you can't eat it, but I eat it so much, and it's that aspect, because no one can tell me I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because growing up, if you went to McDonald's or went out to eat, it was kind of like a big night. It wasn't like you weren't getting it all the time.
Right.
So it was a big deal. And then once you live on your own and you make your own money, and then you're like, I can go to McDonald's like at any point, and now we've got down a little slippery slope.
I had My dad was a lovely man and never got angry, but when he did get angry, it was always about the smallest thing. And
Oh, dude, that's
my brother
bullshit.
Justin tells me this story, but he got us food from McDonald's, and we came in, and we were, and I mean, again, I cannot stress enough what a lovely man my dad was, and but he starts unpacking all the McDonald's food, and then he realizes he got the chicken McNuggets, but the guy forgot to put sauce in, and he's looking around for the sauce, and he's getting more and more uptight, and you can see him gritting his teeth, and then he opens up the bag, and the kid forgot to put the sauce in, and he starts shivering with anger, and he just went, shithead! I'm like, this is a guy who, if I came in and said, Dad, I just totaled the family station wagon, he'd be like, well, I'm glad you're safe.
Yeah.
But it was the smallest thing.
Jesus. If you wrap your head, because once you accept that you're gonna do this too,
yeah,
it's like that's what's so frustrating. When you're like, I'm gonna eat chicken nuggets. I was like, oh, honey
and I'm
mustard.
gonna have that sweet and sour
whatever,
sauce,
sweet and
yeah.
sour sauce, whatever. They got hot mustard. I'm a big fan of hot mustard. But then, yeah, and you just have it all pictured, and then when it's not there, the only reason you're eating chicken nuggets is for the sauce.
Yeah.
You're not eating them
They're
for
just a vessel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can get
yeah.
chicken anywhere.
Eat a dry nug.
Yeah.
No
Hard
way.
pass.
Are your house ketchup, like you're just like so disappointing?
No, I know that my dad, a very good man, is in heaven right now, and God is saying to him, "You led an exemplary life," but about the McNuggets moment. And my dad is probably holding his ground. The guy's a shithead!
Yeah.
No, he's in heaven. He's just eating all the sauce.
But you know what makes my dad angry? The guy's up there too. The kid.
Yeah.
He died 2 years later in a terrible shootout. I made that up. I don't know what happened to that kid.
They have one
your
job.
dad murdered him.
Well,
Yeah.
God, they have one job.
Yeah. I have to bring up what I believe is the Washington sketches are they got to be in the Smithsonian. Those are works of art. They really are. And
Well,
I've spent my life. I mean, really, a lot of my early career was writing sketches, and I get excited when I see a perfect sketch, and I was blown away by that, as was everyone. I was so happy that it went viral. I was curious before this interview, and I checked it out. It's like 28 million people have watched it. I mean, it's just, and it's great because it's all true. That's what I love about it. It's all true. And in that Newhart spirit, all of it is exactly accurate. And it's touching on some really powerful stuff with Keenan, and it's done just perfectly. It's really
Well,
I was
Streeter and Mikey. Streeter Seidel and Mikey Day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just great, just really great. And is it fun when you go out there with a sketch that good? It must be really fun to do that in front of a crowd at SNL.
Yeah, well, that sketch
Especially
almost,
the first time,
Yeah,
you know.
Well, it almost didn't make it because during the table read, I did it, and I just used to performing for a live audience. So when it's just everybody's kind of quiet and you're reading it, like I'm not reading it very fun because it's just awkward. And so when we got for the dress rehearsals, it was on the maybe side, and I really liked it. And I was like, because I knew I was like, it'll do good once I'm in front of a crowd. Like I just need like timing. It's hard to have timing. And so Lauren put it in at the he was like, all right, we can try it last. And then we tried it last, and dress rehearsal, and it destroyed, and then move up to third.
Now here's my pet peeve. Did Lauren enunciate? Lauren reads the stage directions at the read through.
Yeah.
Did he enunciate, or was he eating food at the time?
He gives popcorn.
Yeah.
Little popcorn.
Popcorn. He used to have popcorn, and he used to have like carrots, and you'd work all night on a sketch and be like, "This is a perfect sketch," and then I'd forget. It depends, but Lauren, if he was having the little hankering for something, you know, like we open on and then crunch, crunch, crunch.
I love that you still remember that.
Oh, I do, and I'd be like, swallow and then say the directions, and it'd be a key direction like. what the audience sees immediately that he's dressed as an astronaut. And Lord would say, the audience sees immediately. And then people aren't laughing because they don't know he's an astronaut. And then we pan to.
They don't know he's in that. Why is he in space?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
because it's a moon landing.
Yeah, no, read it yourself. Don't just listen to Lauren. Yeah, if he had been eating, they wouldn't have known that you're George Washington and you're talking to the troops. Hello, my people. Now, this isn't funny. This blows. Who cares about weights and measures? Hey, you're hosting the Emmys.
I am.
They are very lucky to have you, and you're going to have a blast.
I'm excited. That's what I wanted to talk about. You killed it on the Oscars, so it was very fun that night too to see you, just because it was like so perfect, and it was so fun, and then it was like that. It's even like after that party, like you're just like, oh yeah, when you're like, this dude killed it, like it was the
that's
best.
Nice. That was fun.
And yeah,
but then they're fortunate because there's, I think we're in an era where not everybody, the good people don't always get to do it. And I think it's great that you're doing it. And I think you're going to have a really fun time, and people are going to be very happy that you're doing it. So,
well, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. Is there any I've not watched all the shows. That's the part I got to get on that.
Oh yeah, you got to watch the shows, and
I've seen all the commercials.
That's enough.
I feel like that should count. Is that enough?
Yeah, just only the commercials.
Yeah.
You should do all your jokes about the commercials that air around the shows.
Yeah.
Because if you make yourself happy, it's going to be fantastic. And that's the only thing. The only trick is make yourself happy.
We have some pretty fun ideas for some stuff, so I'm looking forward to it. And the monologue is. That's just with doing stand-up. So it's like I'm looking at. Luckily, I had a couple jokes that I had that kind of can fit in this kind of scenario. So then you're gonna be able to put that in there, and then just really work on the monologue. And it's like I think we have some sketch stuff because you don't have as much time as you think. That's what's. I think it's like 12 minutes or something like that.
You know what the thing is? It's not
total.
Yeah.
So that's like. And it
I think you can get more because you're Nate Bargaze. I think you can get more time, but
you don't want to be there.
No, exactly. But the other thing is, I always remind myself the times I've done award shows, when I would do the Emmys or when the Oscars, I'd always remind myself, this is not my show. This show is about other people. I'm here to perform a very specific job. So, because people would come up to me and say, hey, why don't you switch the categories up? Like, hey, it's not my. How come this takes so long, or what was that about? I'm like, it's not my show. My job is to just do the best I can with the time I have and really try and make it fun. And so, it's not a lot of time when you boil it down. It's less time than people think it is.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have a great night, and you should just enjoy it.
I tell you what, I've been very happy with CBS, because we were shooting some promos. And some of the jokes that some of the producers and they have written were very, very funny and self-deprecating, and I could tell they were written with me in mind.
Yeah.
And mine. So I was very, excited to be like, you know what? I think CBS is they get it, and they're gonna, at least for this Emmy, they understand, and they're being like, yeah, just go be you. And I don't feel like there's any, just from that phase of it. And the promos we shot were very funny, I think, too.
It's real simple.
Yeah.
They know that they have a great host. They do. They know that, and they want you to be happy. So make yourself happy with everything you do on this show, and it's going to be the best Emmys ever. Seriously. So honored to have you here. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
You're a great guy, and you're crazily talented. And I'd love to. I'm going to get that Taurus repurposed. I'm taking you to the Denny's in Gower Gulch in Hollywood, which is where I used to go back in 1985 when I was just getting started.
Oh yeah.
And I ate hundreds of pounds of food there very quickly.
Exactly the same too. They haven't redone anything
I went back.
to that place.
I thought I went back when we were doing the podcast.
We did.
You and I went back.
Yeah, we did.
And we had a feast.
Yeah.
This was like 4 years ago. Stone and I were in this Denny's 4 years ago, and we had a blast.
Yeah, it was fun.
And I was like, you know, I used to come here, and they're like, we don't care.
Yeah.
I sat right over there. Okay, knock yourself out, Conan. But continued success with everything.
Hey,
and,
thank you so
please
much.
come back anytime you want to talk about anything, because I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you. Thank you for everything you've done in my career. You played way more of a part than you might think you did, but you played a giant part in my career, so you're the
I'm
best
very
kid.
aware of what I've done for you. And now that you're in the big money, I want compensation.
Yeah.
$600.
Good. I'll fix the clutch. I'll fix the clutch on the Taurus.
Deep hit the clutch. Yeah. All right, Nate, take care.
Yeah, but
Just start.
And we're back. We're back, and this is now a segment out of nowhere that's happening because Sona won't stop talking about this. Sona goes back on the attack about how you can't milk these nuts. I explained that, yeah, I think you can. Matt, this is quite unusual, came in on my side, and then Eduardo.
I said, sorry, I'm in tears over what Blake.
Well, let's reconstruct.
We gotta cover that
Guys,
too.
let's
Sorry.
reconstruct what just happened in Dealey Plaza so that the listeners know what's happening.
Get
okay?
out the red yarn.
Go ahead.
In Spanish, you know.
Are you going to be okay, Eduardo?
Yes, it's referred
You're crying.
I am. It's referred to as leche.
Yeah. What is it?
You know,
Just say.
sperm, male sperm. It's
Nut
referred
milk.
to as. It's referred to as milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why are you quibbling? Because your whole thesis is premised upon the fact that you're a woman saying "suck my dick."
I know. I'm saying you can't milk a dick.
But
You can!
But you can't suck your dick.
Okay, Eduardo,
No one
whose
calls
side are
it
you on?
milk
I'm on
except-
Conan's
Well,
side.
this is
Yes.
the United States of America.
It's
I
poetic.
understand what they do in Mexico, but you can't
It's
milk.
metaphorical.
No guy says, "Babe, milk this, bitch."
You don't know that. What do guys that work on the farm routinely probably refer, you know, who knows what they say, but what I'm... Blay, what did you have?
Well,
Blake came in very earnestly.
well, I
said,
was just
"There's
saying they have almond milk. They have a thing called almond milk.
The milk of the nut.
The milk of the nut.
You're referring to the testicles as nuts, and
Oh.
they have their
No.
own
No,
milk.
he's
Well,
talking
no,
about
I'm
literal
talking about-
actual
No, I
almonds.
know he is, but what I'm saying is, Blay has come in with the proof that nuts can yield milk.
That's right.
We now have the evidence that in Mexico,
Yes.
courtesy of
No,
Eduardo,
all Latino America, by the way.
sperm is called, referred to sometimes as leche.
So it's literal and figuratively. There's precedence. There's
Yeah.
literal and figurative.
You
precedence.
can't, but no, I'm saying you can't say it in like a sexual way, like, "Hey, I have a bag of almonds.
Why can't
milk these nuts."
Why can't you?
Yeah.
Why can't you?
Because we're talking about it in the sexual sense. I don't say
Got him.
suck my dick in like a
We
like
got
a-
him.
like a dick is a guy I'm with, and I'm like, suck dick.
All right,
What?
I'm out.
What are you?
That's-
Are you having a breakdown?
I know, but
What
we
is your
were also
problem?
we weren't speaking sexually. We were
Yeah.
just
Yes, you were. You were saying milk these nuts in a sexual way.
No.
You meant jizz it.
Is it? But,
You mean milk
what's
these
wrong?
nuts?
What's wrong with you? Jizz it. I was